So I was very upset when my son showed up at home with a white girl. I said, Mikhail, of all the beautiful black women in South Africa, why do you show up with a white kid? He didn't take me very seriously. He said, Dad, we're getting married in a few weeks. You cannot meet Catherine's parents at the wedding. So my wife and I jumped into the car and drove for 5 hours to the north of South Africa to meet the enemy. When we got there, on the one side of the table sat the black Jansens, and on the other side sat the white Bartletts. My son came tiptoeing towards me and he said, Dad, whatever you do, do not embarrass me. I said, son, have I ever embarrassed you? And of course, he rolled his eyes. I thought I'd wait for the green stuff to go by first, the salads, and when the red meat came, I decided to strike. And I spoke to these white people as if they were deaf. And I said, so, what first crossed your minds when my son decided to darken your doorstep? My poor boy went sliding under the table with embarrassment. But Catherine's mother responded immediately. And what endeared me to her is that she spoke in working class English, not in the English of parts of Cape Town where people pretend they're still in Nottingham or in some strange place in the UK. So she said, well, I said to myself, Brenda, I said, are you truly a non-racist? So when she saw my son, she didn't judge him. She questioned herself. I was so happy. I ran around the table, gave her a huge hug, and said, welcome to our family. I tell you that story because as a South African who is on the one hand a parent in a very divided country, and on the other hand, until recently, the Vice-Chancellor of a university in rural South Africa, largely agricultural, in which not a day goes by without yet another story about racial strife. That when my son decided to do what was inconceivable for me as a kid growing up under apartheid, he demonstrated very powerfully that he is better than his father. You see, when I do workshops with white and black parents in South Africa and they say, how will I know I am a good parent? I always tell them, you'll know you're a good parent when your children are better than you. Not better in a moral sense, but able to make better decisions with the light that they have, with the privileges that they now enjoy as a result of our democracy. That is a powerful lesson. And I look to my son as I do to my daughter for this incredible gift of being able to make decisions that teach me that it really doesn't matter what the other person looks like, or how the other person prays, or how they make love, or where they come from. What matters is, of course, as Martin Luther King once said, the content of their character. But there's something else. I discovered working with black and white South Africans over many years that the racial attitudes of children depend very, very much on what they witness to be normal inside their homes. You see, my son grew up in a house that when, as the son of parents whose parents were evangelical Christians, he woke up and discovered that he was going with us to Shabbat on a Friday night with our Jewish friends, that he would go with us to the Long Street Mosque with my best friend for prayer. That didn't make him less of a Christian. It made him more of a human being. When he woke up, he saw gay people and straight people. He saw Zimbabweans, he saw South Africans. He saw people who spoke many different languages. And what is very clear from our research in a book that I've just done called Making Love in a War Zone is that it really does depend what your children see and witness to be normal in their own homes. And finally, What is also very clear to me, that is, if you're going to build inclusive cultures, if you're going to build and rebuild a society in which people do judge each other by character and not color, it is going to be very, very important that we invest in the broader education. I don't mean in math and science, in the broader education that teaches our children how to live together, how to learn together, and if we're lucky, how to love together. Thank you very much.